Atma Namaste. Welcome to Soulful Living with Neeldhara. This is part 2 of the series Spiritual Disciplines, where I'm sharing some of the disciplines that I practiced in my journey. Before we go ahead, I want to remind all of you that all these disciplines can and must be practiced in our daily course of lives. Today I'm going to talk about the discipline of self-examination. The name itself suggests that this is like a diagnostic tool for our souls. Because when we self examine, we get in touch with the deep rooted intentions, the deep rooted motives behind everything that we are. Whatever we think, we do, we speak, we react, we act, we respond, we behave, whatever we do, we get in touch with the core reasons behind the same. So, this discipline actually helps us to know ourselves better. And not just knowing ourselves, self aware is one part of this discipline. It also helps us self repair. Because when we get to know ourselves better, we get in touch with our strengths and weaknesses, with our good and bad intentions, with our inner desires, with all our trigger points. And hence, we have a huge opportunity to create better versions of ourselves by working around all of these. Like Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. So, this particular discipline is really important for us to practice if we really want to grow spiritually and if we want to become more self aware and better versions of ourselves. There are certain steps that we can follow in order to make sure that this discipline is followed in a certain structure and direction. So I followed certain steps. I'm sharing the same with you. This can help you in practicing this discipline in a better and more effective way. The first step is that we do a day-to-day analysis. We do not have to sit and examine our entire life in entirety. We do not have to sit and examine all the experiences that we've had in our life, all the emotions that we've been through, all the actions that we've taken, the words that we've spoken, the responses that we've given. If we sit and actually do this, this is going to lead us into some vague thoughts, abstract intermingling of emotions and experiences, and it is not going to really give any productive outcome. So the best way to do is that at the end of each day, we sit and examine that day's happenings, that day's experiences, that day's emotions that we've been through, that day's behavior that we've projected, that day's thoughts that came to our mind. Sit and examine only that day's happenings and maintain a journal. Pen down everything. The second step is to make it more structured. We ask the same set of questions to ourselves each day. Whenever we sit for our self-examination at the end of each day, we ask the same set of questions. So when we do this, when we actually journal the answers to the same questions each day, at the end of a certain period, what we get is a huge statistical information about ourselves in a certain format, which can then be used for us to understand larger patterns of our life. For example, we can then understand what triggers the happiest moments in our life, what triggers our anger, what triggers our stress, what thoughts, if energized, lead to certain experiences, certain emotions, which are conducive to life, to a good life, and the emotions which are not conducive to a good life. So we understand larger patterns of our being. There is a set of questions that I used to ask myself, so I will share that with you. You can change the questions, write them in your own words. You can add to these questions, but make sure that you have a set of questions that you ask yourself each day, the same questions. The first question that I ask myself is, which experiences made me feel the greatest high, gave me the greatest high during the day, and which experiences made me feel low during the day? So it can be as big as fulfilling the day's tasks, that gave me a great high, or it can be as small as picking up the phone and talking to somebody who I really wanted to talk from a long time. That gave me a great high. So it can be anything, just pen down whatever it is. The actions that gave you the greatest high and the actions that made you feel low. The second question that I ask myself is, what are the instances where I acted as a being of love? I acted out of love. And the instances where I acted unaware of the fact that I am a being of love. For example, if somebody said something unpleasant to me, or somebody did something which was against what I had planned, which was against my will or my desire, how did I act? Did I instantly show my anger, my annoyance? Or did I take a step back, try to understand why the other person did what he did, and try to empathize and reason out with that person in a calm state of mind? How did I act? If it was the latter, it was out of love, as a being of love. And if I acted in the other way, where I showed my anger instantly, it was a behavior where I was unaware that I am a being of love. So, all the instances where you acted out of love, note them down. The instances where you did not act out of love, note them down. The third question that I asked to myself is, when did I feel the deepest connection with God during the day? And when did I feel the least connected with God during the day? Now, this is something not everybody can answer easily. So, whenever you have an answer to this question, pen them down. If you do not have an answer, it's okay, leave it blank. But do ask this question to yourself each day. Because being able to feel deep connection with God is very important for your inner peace. The fourth question, which really has to be done with a lot of honesty, is that what was my real intention and motive behind all that I did during the day and all that I spoke during the day? For example, if I yelled at somebody, if I was angry with somebody, what was my intention? Was it to improve that somebody? Was it to make him or her realize that there is something that needs to be worked on? Or was it just to show my anger, my superiority, to satisfy my ego, to show that if things are not my way, then I cannot be polite? What was my intention when I yelled at that somebody? Write it down and be very honest. In this question, the key is honesty. It is only if you're honest with yourself and you're ready to accept the negatives about yourself, if you're not living in denial, only then will this discipline actually be helpful to you. So pen down all the motives behind everything that you did and spoke honestly. If you helped somebody during the day, what was your intention? Was it that you felt that the other person needed help and you are in the capacity of helping and so you helped? Or was it that you felt that this relationship is important and thus I have to help so that it can go cordially? Or was it that you felt that the other person can be of help to you someday, so you helped? Or was it just to show that you're a very helping person? What was your intention? Even if you've done something good like charity, what was your intention? Was your intention to give back to the universe selflessly? Or was it because you wanted some good deeds? Or you wanted to feel a high that, oh, I'm in a state of helping people? What was your intention? Pen them down, note them down. It will help you understand your own self in a much better way. The fifth question that I asked to myself is, what are the things that I should have done but I did not do during the day? It can be anything like being thankful to somebody, giving credit to somebody for their help or for their work, saying sorry to somebody who I must have hurt. So it can be anything that you feel you should have done but you did not do during the day. Note that down. The sixth question is that, what are the things that I could have done better or differently if given a chance? If you've reacted in a certain way in a situation during the day, if you feel that looking back at it now makes you feel that you could have done better, you could have reacted better, or you could have reacted differently. What is that different way that you could have reacted? Note down everything that you feel you could have done better if given a chance. When you ask these questions to yourself daily, and then you look at all the answers after a period of time, you will come up with a list of awareness. You will come up with great information about yourself, and then make a list of awareness for yourself. You will get to know what makes you really happy, what stresses you out, what is actually important to you, what is not important to you, what are the desires that you need to really focus on fulfilling, what are the desires that are really not important. For example, satisfying your ego, not important, but we give it the most importance. But when we actually self examine and look at the answers, we understand that whenever we act out of ego, it doesn't give us peace. It makes us feel low, it makes us feel disturbed, it stresses us out. So, when we ask the same questions to ourselves each day, we come up with that list of awareness which help us self repair. So, follow this discipline daily on a daily basis. Daily is the key. I will come up with my next video very soon on the next discipline that we can follow, we can practice. Until then, keep learning, keep growing. Atma Namaste.